Morning, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Love 500, welcome back to the last video in Project Gluey, on Project Gluey. Today we are going to try and sort out the warning lights on the dashboard because of these rear lights and the incorrect wattage bulbs. Let's see if we can sort it out. This should be the last video. Apart from that, and a clean and the stickers going on, that should be it. Let's do it, let's get into it, let's get this done and get it sold. Right, so what I'm going to show you now happened during the week. So basically I bought some LED bulbs that were recommended to me with inbuilt resistors and told me they will work, they will sort the problem out. I will let you see the video and then you can make your mind up as to whether they worked or not. I think you can probably guess. Let's show you, just quickly show you that and then we'll come straight back and yeah, carry on. So this is what I bought. These were recommended to me. So these are LED bulbs which can cause problems on their own, but apparently these bulbs have got resistors built into them which will get rid of the error. So what we need to do is just get the rear lights off. So we'll undo the 10mm bolts on each one, pull each, did I say mirror? I meant the lights. Pull each light off and then we'll take the backs off. Then we'll come back and we'll put these bulbs in and we'll see if they work. Like so. So obviously that's your bulb holder, and we've got to replace that bulb. So as you can see there, if we take it out, it's a twin. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up. We have a twin filament. So the lower filament is the brake lights, which is 21 watt, and the bigger filament, I think that's the right way around. The bigger filament might be the other way around, but the bigger filament, or one of the filaments, is 21 watts, and one of them is 5 watts. But the car is expecting a 10 watt bulb. So what we have here is LED bulbs that will hopefully emulate the correct voltage with resistors in, which are meant to get rid of the problem. I've not ever tried these before. This is the first. So we're going to try it. So the bulbs go in, only go in one way. And I think we don't actually need to put it back in the light, we'll try it out of the light. So we'll just plug the light back in. I think they only go in, like the other bulbs, they only go in one way. Connect them up. And now what we need to do is see if we get any errors. So let's go into the car first, see what we got. Right, so if we sit in the car, so the lights are switched off. We'll turn the ignition on. Again, we're not starting the engine. So the triangle will go out because the lights are off. So we'll put the lights on. And it comes back. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So it looks like we are going to have to go down the resistor route. So they didn't work. No surprise there. Well, there was a surprise. I really thought that they were going to work. So what we're going to do, again, someone has sent me a link for some resistors. They tell me that these resistors will work. They are a subscriber to the channel, and I won't mention his name, but you know who you are. Thank you very much. I'll be thanking you even more if they work. He has quite insistent that these will work. So they need to go in line with the power and the earth, and they need to have, they do get warm, so they need to have some air around them. So my idea is to put them behind the carpet panel, but you've got a little bracket down there, and behind that bracket there is space down there, both sides. Obviously we've got to do both sides. I'm going to get these carpets out yet again. We'll take the lights off yet again. Actually, do we even need, no we do, because I need to ascertain which wire it is again. So I need to get my diagrams out and whatever, and make sure I know which wire it is. And then we will cut the wires, solder them in and try it. Let's do it. Right, we're back to this again. So the running light is number 2, which is, this is the original plug, if you remember I changed it. So it's that green and white. So we're going to chase the green and white wire back in there and then tap into it on at that and the black, but we'll do it behind there instead. We'll thread all this through just to make it easier. But there is another way of doing it, but this is the way I'm going to do it, and I'm going to somehow put it on the back of this. So there is an air gap there, because it does get a bit warm, so you need some air around it. So that to me seems the best place to put it. I could put it right down there, but I think that strapping it, I might cable tie it on the wires. So I'm not cable tying it on the actual resistor itself, but I'll do it on the wires instead. That might be a better way of doing it. But yeah, let me show you them. Actually, I haven't shown them to you yet. So here they are. So you've got a little heat sink, and you got a little holder there, and a little connector there. So these are multi-use. These apparently can be used on front lights as well. I'm not sure if it's on the headlights or the DRLs that put up an error. If you do Series 4 conversion on front lights as well, you can use these same resistors. But they were like £3–4, something like that on eBay, I can't remember now. So what you do is you cut one plug off entirely, so you've got different length wires. So I'm going to cut the short one off entirely, and then the other one you just cut the plug off, and then you wire those. I don't think it matters on polarity, but seeing as you've got one is black and one is blue, I'm going to wire the blue into the live and the black into the earth. That just makes sense, doesn't it? So, and that's all you do, and then that should just work then. Obviously you need to do it for the other side as well. So I'm going to strip the wires back, get these wired in, and then we'll come back and show you. Right, okay, so they're all wired in. So we've got one going into the black and yellow on there, and then into the earth, and then the other wire's just cut loose. On the other side we've got it going into the yellow and red, and of course the black again. Obviously the annoying thing is they're different depending on which side, which is another daft bit of design, but they're connected up. Let's switch them on. Fingers crossed. Ignition on, lights are off, so the triangle should go off, which it has. Turn the lights on. No error. Are they on? Yes. Yes. Fan-bloody-tastic. It looks like it's worked. Now I'm going to leave them on for a little while, 5 or 10 minutes, just to see how warm those things get, because obviously I've got to somehow secure them out of the way. And if they do get warm, then I want to see how warm they get. Let's have a feel of them already. Vaguely warm. Vaguely warm, yeah. So I'm just going to leave them a few minutes, see what happens. See how warm they get, and then we'll come back, and then we'll somehow probably, don't know, put them behind here somehow, or maybe just leave them dangling, possibly, don't know. They might not necessarily need to be secured in there, but we'll see. Obviously we can't tape them into the loom because they do get warm, however warm they get. I mean, if they don't get any warmer than they are now, they are getting slightly warmer. They're not hot, they're just warm. But we'll leave it on, see what happens. Actually, I need to test the brake lights as well, but I haven't touched the brake light circuit, so it should be alright, but we'll test that as well. So I'll leave it on for 5 minutes and we'll come back and see how warm they are. So I've had the lights on for probably 5 minutes, 5 or 6 minutes. They do get fairly hot. I mean, you couldn't hold on to that for very long, but they're not as hot as the bulbs get. If I touch those bulbs now, yeah, they're equally about the same sort of temperature. In fact, the resistors are slightly cooler, I would say, than the bulb. Oh, yes, definitely. So that's only obviously a 5-watt bulb, and so they do need a bit of space around them. But see, my idea of putting them in the back here, I think is probably the best bet, because they're out of the way. They're not near any of the side carpets or anything like that. It's just a matter of how they go, how I secure them. I think I'm probably, I don't know, I might use some tape and tape them to the back of this with the wire, with the tape on the wires. That might be a better way. It depends how the wires fall once the lights are back in place, I think. But yeah, it worked well. Nice one. And it's no errors. Fantastic. So once I've got all this back together, I'm just going to leave it a couple more minutes and see if they get any hotter than they already are. I don't think they will. So they're not massively hot. And then I'll put this all back together again, and then we'll be finished on this, and the car will actually be finished. Apart from a wash and sticking those stickers on, which I mentioned on a previous video. Now, while we've got that on, we'll just come around here, and cam belt was done. Was done by Glenn the mechanic. It was done on, what's today? Saturday today. Was done on Thursday. And yeah, done. The aux belt was done as well. Water pump was done. The water pump, he said, was leaking a little bit. The aux belt didn't look that bad. Sorry, the cam belt didn't look that bad, and I did actually look at it. There was no splits in it. It did say Abarth on it, so he said it's either the original one or it's been done and they've used genuine parts. But it didn't look bad. And I said to him, the car's done 73,000 miles. He said, there's no way that belt's done 73,000 miles. So I think that has been done at some point. But possibly the original aux belt, because that was worn and did need replacing. So that's done. And I had ordered the brakes, the brake discs and the brake pads for the rear. And I was hoping they were going to come, because as he was here, he only charges 40 quid an hour, and you know, he's really quick. He's really quick. And I thought to myself, how much is it going to cost? Is it worth the grief of me doing them? So I got him to do them, and they came about 2 hours before we got it, and we now have nice new pads and discs on the rear. And I didn't have to do it. Yes, I know, but I didn't want to do it. This car has got someone waiting for it, and we know their grief. And he was here anyway, so you know what, sod it, I don't care, he's done it. When I asked him to do it, he said, oh really? He said they were a pain. He said, you have to take the hubs off. And I said, I know people sometimes do take the hubs off. I said, but I believe there is another better way of doing it. And I went and Googled it, and I found a post on one of the Facebook groups. So if you loosen the bolts as much as you can, and then what you can do is take out, I think it's take out 3 of them, and then using a block of wood and a hammer, you bang the carry around and it slides out the way enough for you to get the discs off. He tried that and he said, that's a great tip. He said it worked. He said it was a bit of a job, but he said, but it is a better way of doing it, and it did work. And he charged me less than £40, I think, for doing it. It took him less than an hour to do it. So we've got new brakes, we've got new cam belt, new water pump, new aux belt. It's been serviced. It's ready to go, apart from a wash, and I'm going to stick the sticker on there and then the scorpion on the bonnet. I think that's all I'm going to do. And that's it. Touch the wheels up, black the tyres up, job's a good one. Right, so this car is essentially done. We have 2 things to do. First one is to clean the engine bay. That's not been cleaned at all yet since I've had the car. Mainly because, well, it's dirty, but mainly because I was having the cam belt done, and I thought I might as well wait until that's done. So we're on the original battery. We didn't change the battery on this. This battery is absolutely fine. So we need to get it clean. The other thing we've got to do is, I was going to change that, but on, I think it was on the convertible, we had one that was a bit scratched up down the side here. And doesn't even need rubbing down. I used some matte, I got some spray matte black paint. I just put it in the lid and used a paintbrush on it, and yeah, it came up all right actually. So I'm going to try that on there. If it's no good, then I will put one, because I have got some. It's just easier just to give it a bit of paint. So that's it then, done. Everything else is already done. It's clean inside, it's clean outside, although of course, you know, it don't take long for it to get dirty. As we know, that's all finished. We sorted out that back bumper. I'll tell you a little story about this. If you remember, when we had, when this was done, when this was painted, I had a little bit of a run just down there, just below the reversing light, and I thought, okay, that's all right. Once we polish it up, we'll knock that back with a bit of wet and dry, and just redo it. So I knocked it back, and you could see that there was just a mark where I'd knocked it back and got rid of the rum. I was out the other day on one of the hot days, and the car was parked in front of the house. I thought I must do that, so I got a bit of wet and dry. So I'd already done that, hadn't I? I got the lacquer, and I whacked a couple of coats of lacquer over it. Walked away. Following morning, I came out. Great big run. I think it was in sunlight, and it was quite a hot day, and it had just run. There was a great big ridge where it had run. So today I've had to get rid of that a couple of times, put some paint over it, mask it off, put some paint over it, and then I've had to put some more lacquer on it, and it looks all right now. It might need a bit of a polish, but it looks all right now. And we'll just polish it up, and then that'll be it. Job done. So that's finished, apart from a polish. So these are the only things I've got to do. I think I've already shown you the Scorpion, and we've got this on here, which looks really good. I think it looks really good. I'll put a picture on, I'll put a little video on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, Salvage, Love 500 Salvage is the name. Give us a follow. Always see lots of little sneak peeks of the cars as I'm doing them, when I'm buying them, bidding on them, and so on. But yeah, let's set you up on time lapse. Little final bit of video. Get this engine bay cleaned. The lady is coming to look at it Thursday lunchtime, assuming that she's probably going to have it. Hopefully, whether she'll take it that day or whether she'll come and get it at the weekend or not, I don't know, but we'll see. Anyway, let's get this cleaned. I know I've shut the bonnet, but you saw it on time lapse. I just wanted to show you the stripes. I can't remember if I've actually shown you on film or not. They're very subtle. Someone said, no, don't do it. But I think they look really good. As I say, subtle. You can't really see it very much. And of course the Scorpion on there, only a little one. No other stickers going on it. Apart from that, oh no, that was on the convertible, forget that. Yeah, obviously it's already got the side stripes, but yeah, all I've got to do now, actually there was one other job, is touch up the wheels as well. So I'm just going to touch that up. I'm not sure which paint I'm going to use, because I've got two lots of paint. I've got the paint for the sport wheels, and I've got paint for the normal silver alloys. Now the silver alloys one would be far too silver. So I mean, it's not really the right colour, but I've got to touch it up with something, so I'm going to use the paint from the sport alloys. That'll be closer, I think. It's only a little bit anyway. It's just little bits touching up around the edges, just to tidy it up a little bit. That's all. Let's just do that. Right, we are now complete. Car has gone up for sale. Now, as I mentioned to you before, there was someone already interested in this, and they did come and have a look on Thursday, I think it was. It was someone that had expressed an interest when they'd seen a picture on Instagram, I think it was, can't remember now. It's someone who is on the mums group that I normally advertise on, who lives locally, and she kept asking me questions about it, got quite excited about it, come to have a look. When she came, my neighbour had his van parked up the drive as they arrived. He parked there and he said, did you need to get out? And I said, oh, possibly for a test drive, but not just at the moment. They had a good look over it, asked me lots of questions, started it up, listened to it, and then said, can we let you know this evening? I knew straight away from when they said that they didn't want it, because they didn't even want a test drive. Didn't hear from them in the evening, so I put it on the mums group, and within 10 minutes of it being approved on the mums group that I advertised the cars on, I got a message from her saying that sorry to waste your time. It wasn't really practical with young kids, and they had a non-ULEZ compliant car they needed to get rid of. Don't know what it is, and this had caught their eye about. It's not really a practical car for a family, is it? So understandably, it wasn't for them. So that's pushed down my success rate of selling to the first person that comes to look. Now, being an Abarth, of course, there are not as many people. I've got a list of people as long as my arm that are waiting for 500s. Literally, I have probably 15 people that have inquired, probably more than that. Some of them have been there for some time, so they've probably found cars elsewhere, but I've probably had 10 within the last month. It's just relentless, and I cannot do them fast enough. Abarth's not so much, but of course, yeah, it will sell. It will sell. I did have someone last night that said, I'm interested, can I view? And I've left them a reply saying, yeah, send me a PM. Haven't received a PM from them yet, but I'm sure I will. So that's it. Project Gluey is finished. All done, new brakes, new shocks, serviced, MOT'd, cam belted, cleaned, new bumper, new lights, all the warning lights out, wheels touched up. Yeah, it's just really nice. Taken it out a couple of times for a bit of a drive. I'm going to carry on using it. I actually went to the supermarket in it last night. I had to put 2 bags of shopping on the on the back seat. But yeah, all finished. So that is it. That is the last you'll be seeing of Project Gluey. I will obviously let you know at the end of another video when it gets sold. Hopefully that will be soon. If not, I'm going to be driving around for a little while, because I am contemplating selling my 500X because I want to get an automatic of some sort. Not quite sure what yet, but I have got a few little bits to do on the 500X before I can sell it. So that was obviously be coming to that at a later date. But for the time being, thanks for sticking with me through Project Gluey. Thanks for all your comments, all your support on the video and on the project. Until the next time, thanks for watching. Don't forget, if you're not a subscriber, click on that subscribe button, subscribe to the channel. Until the next time, excuse the wind. Thanks for watching. As always, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.